All right, guys, I have got to show you this recent Inman article. If you don't have access to Inman, don't worry. I'm going to walk you through the entire article where Ryan Serhant predicts the luxury real estate market is coming to a halt. I'm Byron, real estate broker and investor. Let's go right into the article. All right, so this is a panel that Ryan Serhant, of course, Bravo, $1 million listing star, and the top real estate agent in all of New York City. Him, Jade Mills, my Tom Ferry friend Gary Gold, who sold the Playboy Mansion, by the way, and Mariuccio. I just butchered his name, Mauricio. When I read sometimes, by the way, when I'm reading and talking sometimes, I completely butcher people's names. It's Mauricio, all right, from the agency. Anyways, these guys were on a panel. Luxury real estate market has been on fire during the pandemic. Obviously, we all know that. All of real estate has as low interest rates. Not sure how much low interest rates have really impacted the luxury market as much as these booming net worths and the movement towards just having what they want, where they want to live, that kind of thing, right? That's all people too. So that's created the perfect environment for affluent home buyers to snap up their dream or primary or secondary home. A lot of secondary home buyers. I know my team in Connecticut dealt with a lot of New York buyers that were coming out to the shoreline and buying second homes, not moving their primary residency out of the city, but buying these second homes, even in the like really, for them, affordable price points of like $750,000 price points were on fire in 2020 during the pandemic. All right. Here's what's happened. The over $20 million market in our area is up 82%. That's what Jade Mills told the Luxury Connect crowd, which the Luxury Connect is happening in Las Vegas this week for Inman. Over 5 million, everything over 5 million is up 72%. So over 20 million up 82%, over 5 million up 72%. All right, so Serhant, let's get into what he said. New York City market is starting to see similar trends now. He told, New York got beat up. They sold an apartment on 157 West 157th Street. We settled with the seller who paid $34 million and my buyer paid $16 million and 16. This guy must have been really superstitious. Had to put that $7 in there. But Ryan says they've rebounded now. New York City has a lot of inventory. We are not in the 2-month average where the rest of the country is trending, but last week we saw more contracts signed in New York City, over 10 million more contracts signed in New York City, over 10 million than any week prior since 2013. Hey, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good indicator of a New York City coming back because, after 2013, we had some really good years in there. I mean, New York City especially had some really good years. So that this was a week that beat any week since 2013, I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. So even as their markets are riding high, they all understand that a downturn is looming in the not too far future. Okay, so a downturn in the luxury is looming in the not too far future. And it seems weird because Ryan's, market in New York City is just coming back just now. It seems like it's just coming back. Everybody I talk to in New York City is like, I can't get an apartment. It's hard to get, houses, but maybe it's more in the affordable ranges and not the luxury, which although the luxury did look like it was coming back. Anyways, real estate agents have to prepare themselves and clients. They're concerned that things are looking too good. Gary Gold said, obviously when things are looking really good, people want these really high prices, but, still talking about the low interest rates, which, okay, we know that they're going to go up. Again, not sure how much that'll impact the luxury, but these guys are living in the super luxury. They know better than I do. So instead of waiting for the shoe to drop, Serhant says agents and consumers need to take advantage of the current market and abandon any plans to wait out the market. For all the optimism we have, history always repeats itself. The 1920s were great, and then they weren't. We all need to take advantage of the current time we have currently right now because the Fed, and here's the big one. This is where Ryan has a really good point about, okay, something's going to crash. Is it going to be 2022? Is it going to be, when's it going to be? I don't know, but something will eventually crash when the Fed is spending $120 billion a month buying bonds and mortgages so that they can put a Band-Aid on this problem. All right, so they're going to start pulling back and tapering those buy downs in November rates. So he's saying that we're going to see in November them start to taper, and that the interest rate is going to go up from this November, like in a week, and it's going to keep going up. I don't know if they print another $3.5 trillion, Ryan. I don't know that I agree that the interest rates in 2022 are going to get that high if they go ahead and push this next bill through, but that remains to be seen, obviously. So he said, be prepared for what will happen in 2025 to 2030. Okay. I agree with that. Ryan. 2025 to 2030 could be really ugly, right? But we have 22, 23, 24. Before that, we're going to have low inventory in all those 3 years. Maybe some of these luxury buyers, to Ryan's point, are going to start, 2 or 3 years early, pulling back and not going out and buying that luxury home, knowing what's coming with everything that, the government's done to print money. Yeah, there is going to be a doomsday ahead. Just not sure that it's like tomorrow, as in 2022. All right. So what else does he say here? There's 2 million licensed agents. I think there's 1.6 million, but yeah, about 2 million. You got to stand out. So they're just talking about stuff, you've got to do to prepare. Obviously, just having, if you're a real estate professional listening or watching this, you've got to build a ridiculous brand that's everybody in your community knows, okay, that's the person I got to talk to. That's the person I got to talk to. What I will say, if you're a real estate professional and you're preparing for like a luxury pullback, a crash of any sorts in the market, like being a skill-based professional that has a great brand to back it up, but knowing your stuff, you may look at a market like this, come and say, hey, I'm totally psyched about it, because the consumer is going to need me more than anybody else in my market if I'm the best at what I do, if I'm the most skilled at what I do, if I have the most information at what I do. So I thought I'd share that with you. They're talking about, and this is a panel, and so, I don't know who covered the panel here on Inman, but basically they're putting out some talking points. They didn't make a bold prediction, but they do say a luxury real estate crash is on the horizon, but 2025 to 2030 sounds a whole heck of a lot more likely than any time soon to me, from what I'm seeing out there. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.